If your lessee requests an early termination of the lease, then you would start that activity in your cash receipts area and select lease termination. Enter the contract number and the activity will open. Now you have the tabs where you can edit or update lessee information, view account information, review any notes or add notes to the account, look at alerts or any outstanding invoices for this lease. When you're ready to terminate, you'll go to the Lease Termination tab and select Turn in Vehicle. At this point, when you select Turn in Vehicle, you're going to say either early term or full term. In our case, it'll be early term. Under that, you have Termination Evaluation Values. This is going to document your residual and then the market value of the vehicle. If this is an early termination situation, the market value may be different, so you may need to edit that field. Otherwise, select where you received your market value quote from, and then we're going to move around the screen and fill in the information necessary to carry out the termination. You are able to quote a termination costs for the customer at any point. So if you want to, you can create a quote or a snapshot in time of all the balances and fees that would be owed for a termination to a certain date or through a certain date. So you are able to future date that if necessary. Otherwise, you're going to create the quote, and like I said, the system creates a snapshot of this time in history. You can print a detailed view of that lease termination quote so that the customer or lessee can see what they would have to pay at the time of termination. Now, in the middle of the screen, you have a potential balances box. This is going to show you the adjusted lease balance, which is what is still outstanding on the lease contract or for the term of the lease. This particular company charges a disposition fee of $500 for the disposition of the vehicle. If there were an early termination fee, that would be listed as well, along with any deferred security deposits, other miscellaneous fees, late fees, bad check fees, and such. The balance is taxable in this scenario. So if the customer is turning this in and doing an early termination, then tax will be charged on the balance. Now, just a side note, if a dealership is paying off a lease for a customer to get them into a new car or a new lease, then you wouldn't charge tax here, so you could uncheck the taxable box and that balance would no longer be taxable. I'm going to go ahead and leave this situation the way it was. We're going to say it's taxed. And then to the right of the screen, I have my vehicle information. Now, I'm turning in the vehicle. They're not purchasing this, so I'm restocking it. So I need to know the miles listed. And then if there were any over the 15,000 allotted miles per year, then the customer would be charged an additional 10 cents per mile. I'm going to say that the condition is good. I don't have to do much, maybe just get it reconditioned a bit. Then I'm going to come back over to the left of my screen, kind of the third row, if you will. We have our available credits window here. This available credits window shows any outstanding credits that you have that you can apply toward termination. So this would include a security deposit, any overpayments, meaning the term of the lease ended and the customer continued to make payments. Those payments then can be used to go toward the balance that we are terminating. So I am going to go ahead, and I don't have any yet, but when I click Create Pending Term, then you can see that now I have my miscellaneous fees of $500 and I have my outstanding balance of $10,569. So now what I'm going to do is apply any monies that I get or any credits that I have on this lease to these balances before I terminate the lease. So I'm trying to drive down the amount that I'm going to terminate. Now you have the choice here to restock your vehicle into inventory. So if the customer's turning it in, they're not purchasing it, you're probably going to want to lease it again. So I can click restock and return the vehicle. I'm going to put in the mileage at this point. And then I could put in any additional inventory information that I need to. And I will save that. It's going to ask me to give it a stock number. And then I'm going to get a message. All right. So now I got that message that it was doing the accounting, restocking that into inventory. Now I'm going to apply monies to this contract. Otherwise, this would be the amount that I would be finalizing or terminating. So miscellaneous fees, by the way, will show up as one lump sum. This, I believe, will just be the disposition fee. I can click on that and it would tell me what it was. Now I can just put in what they're paying for it, and then it'll apply that. And then if I have any money, if the customer's paying to turn it in, I can apply that. I'm going to say they're not applying anything. We're only applying the $500, and that was a cash payment from the customer. Then I'm going to commit apply. I don't need to print a receipt. It's going to save my payment. And now what I would do is finalize this termination. I don't need to print a receipt. Is it a cash termination? Industry standards say yes. I need to take my amount less paid and apply that to a gain-loss account. So you would, or your accountant would know what account to apply that to. I'm just going to go ahead and apply it to my miscellaneous account for now. And then I'm going to say that yes, this is a zero payoff, no cash payoff. And then the balance has been paid off. Now at this point, I could search for another contract, exit lease termination, or continue with this contract.